John and Chantel, it's great seeing you both today. Thank you so much for coming out. We feel it's just for such a worthy cause.
Yeah.
And so just want to introduce the audience to John Cesario and his wife Chantel. Both doing incredible work. John has some real significant lived experience that really set him apart from just about anybody I've ever met. In addition to that, he's affiliated with two wonderful organizations, Anti-Recidivism Coalition and is it Ventura Training Center?
Ventura Training Center.
If you could tell us a little bit about both of those organizations and your role, and Chantel, please let us know your involvement as well, as I understand you're both very much partners in all that you do.
Absolutely. Somebody asked the other day, like, you know, we don't know how you do what you guys do, and I basically responded back like, it's not what we do, it's who we are, you know. And I think the organization has a mission statement to end mass incarceration. They're a part of prevention, rehabilitation, reentry, and policy change. So like the Anti-Recidivism Coalition is what it is. You know, I read a study in the early 2000s, and there's a school of thought that, you know, the formerly incarcerated were going back after 3 months to 3 years of new cases, 70+%. And that's an alarming number right there.
Boy, it is.
It's an alarming number.
Gosh.
While I was incarcerated, it always made me think like, wow, like, am I that 70+%? But then that hunger inside was like, no, I'm the 30%. So coming out 2016 after serving 16 and a half years in prison, 34 years old, I really tackled the community in a way that I was looking to find ladders, not shovels. You know, shovels were something that I used to bury myself deeper and deeper into a mess. Ladders, climbing to the next opportunity and doing it with people that I care about. So ARC ended up being something that I was introduced into 2018, where the Ventura Training Center was born right there in Camarillo, California. Never having fire camp or firehouse experiences, I felt like I was kind of unqualified. But when I went to the interview, as I got to hear what was going on, and I started noticing like this is exactly what I want to do. It's right here in my backyard. I'm gonna be a part of, you know, a first responder academy where they would house formerly incarcerated men coming from the institutions and giving them a career path to be able to not just get a career at CAL FIRE through certifications, but qualifying them to become the men that they need to be. And change their legacy, you know. So 2018, Camarillo, California, fought against our center being actually born right there. And what happened, there was a town hall meeting, and a bunch of the ARC members went, and for like seconds to maybe a minute were able to give their stories at the town hall meeting. And by the end of the night, the next morning, it was said that the vote was very close, but that VTC would be coming to Ventura County. With that said, they already had a group of leaders there from CAL FIRE, the Triple C's, California Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation, and then us, you know, the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. We're invited to the table, you know. So the first cohort came in, and part of the Ventura Training Center, besides the academic portion, is part of the year is kind of like, I don't want to say paused, but it shifts into a firefighting strike team under the umbrella of CAL FIRE. And in 2019, we went on our first fire, Saddle Ridge Fire in Santa Clarita. And it was the first time ever a post-incarcerated strike team under CAL FIRE would respond to one of the major incidents in California. And I was beyond fortunate to be a part of that, you know. So part of my role, fire support, is I go and I sit front row seats to these fires with our guys. I've probably been on over 50 wildland fires since the conception of Ventura Training Center, and I've been fortunate to just sit there and see our guys not just show up to these fires, but being, you know, some of the top crews that have been said to work on these major incidents. You know, the Eaton fire recently, the Palisades fire. I was there with our guys, you know, and it's been said that when VTC is up on that mountain, you're best to see the probably the most hardest workers that you'll ever see out there for the fire service.
Are these men actually working for CAL FIRE?
So they're being trained, prepared by CAL FIRE, but by the time they're done with our academy, could be anywhere from 18 months, give or take. They'll have every certification, they'll have every training opportunity, and then also the life skill component. You know, so they'll have all these things in place to get hired on by CAL FIRE. The last 3 years, and this is probably more, but the last 3 years, we've had for those that have successfully graduated the Ventura Training Center, we've had a 100% hire rate.
Oh my gosh.
And not just guys going on hand crews, but
That's fantastic.
guys going on engines, guys going to defense space inspectors, EMT,
Wow.
you know, fuels reduction, forestry logistic officers, just different platforms, you know, and all throughout California, it's been known from like the leadership, like, man, these guys, when they come knowing exactly what to do. We're not having to tell them what to do.
And they're getting the same wage as a regular. They're CAL FIRE.
Yeah, they're
So
CAL FIRE.
unlike obviously a fire camp where they're making $1 an hour, and they have that huge disparity.
Right.
What has happened? Please tell us what's happened in terms of what was a big barrier, which was the fact that they could be trained in a fire camp, they could work under a CAL FIRE captain, they could go out on the fires, do everything that they would normally do, but they couldn't be hired because of their record.
Right. So there's so many different limitations. Parole having limitations. You can't leave 50 miles of your county of residence. With that said, how could guys go on fires and go to different academies in different counties when that existed? Not to mention the barriers of being able to pay for an academy. You know, there's $20,000+ to go through academies. Not to mention transportation, finances, housing, etc. So like, there's just so many limitations. But one of the big limitations were when the guys were finally able to promote and be required an EMT, the felony conviction excluded them from that. So, you know, the organization and multiple of other organizations penned a bill. It's called AB 2147.
Sure.
And this bill, when it was passed through, it now gave a high emphasis for the courts to be able to dismiss the record of felony convictions of guys that were in the fire camps and the firehouse. And I can't even count how many guys. I've lost count, actually. We get calls weekly.
My gosh.
I got our record expunged. I got my record expunged, which kind of set up the SB 731 later on. You know, that was the spear that kind of went through the court system to be able to start allowing others who now are able to get the record expunged, which I benefited from that second wave of expungement. You know, so now our guys are able to get their record expunged. They go through an EMT course, and they're not given these opportunities. They still earn them like everyone else. Just let us have a fair chance at earning that like everyone else. And our guys now, they're EMTs. One of our guys is going to be graduating paramedic school in June. We're fortunate to be sitting right there with him to celebrate that. It's historic. It definitely is.
Well, I know it's made such a huge difference. It's just unbelievable, and I want to thank you for being so available to. I mean, when the guys call me and ask me about expungement, I just turn them over to you, and they have had such a great experience. So I just cannot thank you enough.
Right. I do want to give a huge shout out to Ventura County Public Defender's Office, Ayala Benefrem, and her team. There's so many to name, but Alma and Melissa come to mind right off the bat. They have been the instrumental force behind these expungements in our county. Also willing to like educate other counties of guys that are coming. And Ray Schumann up there in Northern California, I mean, their spirit. We just heard it right now in the actual convention
Yeah.
that others are jumping on and helping our community. You know,
That's
so.
wonderful. What's your affiliation with the Cap Alliance?
So, a while back, we became good friends with Dave. In that, I was fortunate to meet you as well.
Dave Bates?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah.
And with that, we've been able to jump on these calls to be able to connect and have bridges and to see what the other villages are doing all throughout the state. And it's an old African proverb, you know, it takes a village,
Yeah.
you know, to raise a child, and that goes
Yeah.
beyond organizations, fatherhood, races, ages. You know, we need each other.
Right.
You know, we're stronger together.
Right. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. And I know, Chantel, you play a very, very big role in everything John does.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to maybe expand on that a
Yeah,
little bit, that would be
absolutely.
wonderful.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he started in 2018. Initially, I was working behind the scenes and placing high-profile individuals into rehabs, doing that from home because we had to raise our kids, and childcare was very expensive. Now that they're involved in school and seeing the hunger that John had, for many years I almost resented him in a way because he wasn't home until I fell in love with what he's doing as well. And that passion was birthed inside of me. And it happened to be that we got invited into the juvenile hall, and I met a young girl there that was 14 years old that had been trafficked. And I am a survivor of being exploited as a teenager. And I thought I would go to my gravesite with that and not telling anybody that. However, the need of exposing that is really, really important. Instilling hope in these young girls and letting them know they're not alone. And so I shared my story with that young girl, and it was almost like a weight was lifted off, and God kind of knew this is the direction that I was going in, and door after door opened up. I'm now a commissioner for the juvenile hall.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and so we go in to inspect the juvenile hall and make sure that they're keeping up with their Title 15 requisitions and requirements. Also being able to be a peer mentor for them and go and just kind of listen to them. I work with a couple safe houses, Olive Crest and the Safe House Project. We partner with them to provide safe housing for these young girls. And then I hold a contract with Santa Barbara County and just really just mentor these young girls and come alongside them. So being, the support system for John as far as his wife, I also fell in love with the men that go through the program.
Right.
They become our kids' uncles.
Terrific.
I don't know how many uncles they have, but it's uncle this, and the beautiful thing is getting calls. Like we got a text yesterday that one of them had their baby. We get the calls, hey, can you come to our wedding? And we went to a wedding, was it last year? And his whole crew was his groomsmen.
Wow.
And that was just beyond beautiful to sit
amazing.
back and witness. It brings me to tears to sit back and witness how beautiful their lives have transformed. Not only their lives, but their child's life and their grandkids to become.
Right.
One of the guys at the center, James, what's his last name? Mick. James and his son at the Triple C's. Anyways, there's a guy at the Ventura Training Center that just graduated, but it birthed his son to go out of become a firefighter, and now he's in the Triple C's, and he's about to graduate, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Changing the legacy.
It's changed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
changing the legacy.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That's just wonderful.
I-
Work,
It
just
is.
incredible.
Absolutely.
It is.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Just applaud both of you. What a great team approach. I can feel it.
Yeah.
And Cap Alliance is very fortunate to have you both.
Yeah.
And,
Doing an amazing job.
I hope,
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.